What is clear in the course of our work is that Cisco and many other companies in the industry shifted their focus from looking at this project as I said before, corporate social responsibility project, into looking at this as a very large market opportunity for us. So Cisco launched a large program called Smart and Connected Community, where we have thousands of people creating solutions and started to sell them in this space. IBM has smart cities and smart planning. So the industries come in there and say, this is a big opportunity. Each of the elements of the industry, of course, look at the technology in a different way. We consider ourselves the plumbers who create enough infrastructure for the communities to come together and create solutions. IBM, for example, focuses much more into the analytics. So they say, can we get the data, overlay data on top of each other, make them better. So each of the industry members will have a different perspective, but this is becoming something which is very, very strategic for us. We see, again, smart cities and smart internet as one of the largest market adjacencies and opportunities for the company in the next 5 to 10 years. So there's lots of investment coming in. When we meet at the industry level, and also we meet with government, we launch this program, there is basically a very fundamental question that everybody has in the back of the mind. And the question is there an equivalent today in the city to what the ERP has been 15 years ago in the enterprise world? So 15 years ago, companies, large corporations were managing silos. So processes which were not integrated with each other. IT systems were siloed as well. Lots of inefficiency. And then a bunch of people in the US, in fact, Silicon Valley, Tom Siebel, Larry Ellison, came over and said, we need horizontal processes running enterprise. So we need to standardize and break those silos and make sure the departments work with each other. And we put a software on top of it, which is the ERP, the Enterprise Resource Planning software. Companies like Oracle or SAP were born and thrived on top of this market. So everybody's thinking about, is there an equivalent for the city today? Are we in front of a large market opportunity linked to the urbanization challenges, linked to the retrofitting challenges that we have in the Western world, and the availability of technologies is what's important. Now, what is sure is that we're not speaking about a horizontal process and a software in the city. Agencies and departments within the government, between government and businesses, are not going to be able to drive processes which are horizontal. We're not speaking about software. We're speaking about something which is much more complicated. We're speaking about networks and sensors and data centers and applications and devices like this coming together into coherent architecture, which is not anymore managed by a company, SAP or Oracle, but is basically managed by an ecosystem, as we call it, of partners, public and private. They come together, deploy the infrastructure, and let the community create innovation in the way we see before. So if this question, is there an ERP for the city today, is real. Our view is that the first communities of cities that create, together with the business and the citizens, these architectures that we call them, crack a market, which is a global market, and create local economic developments, which are at least equal to what we have seen in Milan 12 years ago, where the city launched a network and creating a digital economic cluster. So if the answer is yes, what does it need in our view to be successful? So we work again for 12 years with mayors, with large NGOs, with central governments, with other business partners, in trying to understand what makes a city smart and connected and sustainable. And there's really 4 elements which come across, at least in my experience all the time. The first element is you need the leadership and vision. People like Gavin Newsom in San Francisco, John Cohen in Amsterdam, mayors who understand technology, embrace it, and believe it, without thinking that technology is the solutions to everything. Second element to vision is vision at different levels. So we selected some of the cities in which we go investing based on the vision of the management, of the political layer, but also the ability to execute by the management, and the involvement of the people in the lower side of the organization, which are the ones that create the service in the cities and infrastructure to benefit also. So leadership at multi-layer perspective is the first element. Second one is smart regulations and the role of government. We've seen the government moving away, especially in Europe and in Asia, from investing into these digital infrastructures in competition with the market into using limited funds to create pilots and then collaborate with the market. So Amsterdam, for example, created a pilot on fiber to the home, connected 4,000 homes into their city, and triggered a reaction for the large service providers and developers that said, we see the viability of the business case here in moving from copper and coax into fiber. We now are going to invest and basically take over from the government department infrastructure and do this from a market perspective. So the role of government in stimulating the market through pilots and then handing over is very critical, as well as the policy and regulatory framework. Can I incentivate through fiscal incentives or financial incentives the market to basically start reacting? And can I be the first client on top of these networks with my public services once the market basically deploys? So we call this an anchor tenancy strategy. We see many governments who put their public services as the first ones on top of the network, so that service provider have a large enough customer to be able to make the first investment. So that's a very, I would say, coordinated action needs to take place. The second element related to that is what we call governance and public-private partnerships. It has become clear, in our view, that the traditional financial mechanism needed to deploy new infrastructure in Asia, physical infrastructure, roads, utilities, buildings, or to renew obsolete infrastructure in the Western world does not work anymore. So this is not what government can do in isolation anymore from a city government perspective. You look into regional governance, local, county, state. In Europe we say local, regional, and national. You look into more active collaboration with the market. You look into investment from the market, achieving public policy, because the finances on the public sector side are not there anymore. So the governance model is becoming a little more complicated and need to be basically developed. We also look into very much into public-private partnership. If there is a word that I heard a lot, and I came across very few successful examples, is PPPs. So I worked for 10 years about public-private partnership, which ended up in conversation being the government thinking about the businesses as the people that can magically come for money and invest into infrastructure in the problem. And the business saying, I'm going to do public-private partnership with you, Mr. Public Sector Counterpart, I'm going to send you something now. So we have to work a lot under planetary development in clearing up what is understanding, in translating languages. What is vision meaning for the word vision for government versus businesses? And we started to crack a bit out there, but PPPs and figuring out exactly how the public and the private come together. How can you collaborate, for example, with the government in developing a pilot? Some cities, Amsterdam is another smart example, they created some special purpose vehicle in the middle. Some sort of NGOs where the cities and the private sector co-invest into creating innovation. So those organizational, financial, and construction and business constructions are very important. So PPP is the second piece. And the third piece, which is probably the most compelling revelation we had, came out of the meeting that we had 3 years ago, when under the program we put San Francisco, Amsterdam, and Seoul together. And we were trying to plan a program of smart transportation. And for 2 days, we started to think from a corporate and government perspective about what citizens wanted to have when they would connect the bus, giving some services on the bus which is not connected. And then I remember a gentleman from Amsterdam saying, we need to move away from PPPs, which are public-private partnerships, into what he called PPPs, public-private partnership with people. So the question is, how do you involve the people in the communities in the design of the systems and make sure they are the one that not only tell you what they want, but they physically and really literally create the services themselves. E-commerce San Francisco, but also some of our centers is the example where the government and the businesses put up enough infrastructure, enough finance and data for the communities to start using it and put it together. The concept that they use is a concept of a sandbox. You don't build the customer yourself as a government in collaboration with the businesses, but you put together a sandbox with lots of sand in there, and you have the community come and basically